What was starting with how we got in the roofing space? I think that's always pretty interesting.
Yeah,
right?
let's talk about it.
So, what about you, Armando? How did you get into roofing?
How did I get in the roofing space? Man, I was just jumping around from job to job.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really have any clear direction on what all I knew is that I wanted to like do independent sales. That I knew.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had worked for probably 2 years saving money so I could get into something that was like 100% commission,
Mm-hmm.
and I could make my own schedule and come and go as I please. That was like very.
It's almost like owning your own little business in a way.
It's kind of like owning your little business, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all I really wanted, and then I was trying to do one thing after another, wasn't working out. I was finally starting to get to the point where I'm running out of savings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to go back begging to my old boss, tail between my legs, asking for a job. And I was like, I had a thought. I was on the way to a yoga class,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, there's this one guy. I remember him talking about roofing, and like selling roofs. I didn't really know what that was about, and I was like, what is he talking about? And I thought, man, I should talk to that guy. I should have got his number or something. You know, I was like, dang it, I wish I would have said something to him about it so we could learn more about it. And I was like, whatever. Maybe I'll see him. Probably not. I mean, what's the chances of that? So I was like, whatever. So I go to the yoga studio, walking up with my mat, open up the door, walk in, and that guy that I was thinking about is standing right there at the front desk. And so I was shocked, I was stunned, and I was like, I almost was too nervous to even like say anything about it because I was so stunned, and so I ended up waiting till the class was over. He practices yoga, and we got talking in the locker room, and I was like, hey, do you need sales reps? And asking a roofing owner if he needs sales reps is like, and he was like, oh, absolutely, Armando. I don't hire just anybody, but you're hired. He's like, let's start this week. I'll get you with my sales manager, and you guys will, you're gonna do really great, blah blah blah. And I was like, done, cool, let's get started. I needed to hurry up and make some money though, because I was running.
Money was running out.
Yeah. So anyway, I got with the sales manager, and he ended up being like this beast door knocker guy, and I just went knocking on doors in late February is when I started, literally snowing outside. So when I get reps come to me and be like, well, I don't have business cards. Well, it's not a nice day, or was this? I was like, dude, I started when it was literally snowing, all right, asking for a roof inspection. I was literally writing my name on a yellow pad, tearing it off, and like giving it to them. And they're like, here's my number, my business cards are coming, we'll come and look at your roof when the snow stops next week. And they're like, okay, and I was kind of amazed. I was like,
it's working.
Really going for this? So and the rest was history pretty much. I just kind of, kept working.
How was door knocking right off the very beginning? Like, were you like, oh my gosh, really like, were you pretty nervous going into it?
Absolutely, very nervous. Well, I mean, to a certain extent, like I was a seasoned salesperson at that time. I'd already been selling for probably 5 years.
So you built up some confidence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was one of those guys who like, when you used to go to the mall, they don't even have them anymore, but you go to the mall and people were like harassing you by phone.
Oh,
I was one of those guys.
You were not. See, you were like built, you know what I mean? Like, when you first get into sales, the rejection part is pretty difficult. Like, I did cold calling for a while, and so we did 150 cold calls per day on an automated dialer.
Okay, wow.
So what would happen is if we're on Salesforce, I get done with the call, and then, maybe 10 to 15 seconds after that call is done, it automatically dials for you. Someone answers on the phone, and then the lead information pops up. And now they're like, hello? And I'm like, oh, what kind of company is it?
Yeah.
Is it a barber?
Yeah.
Is it a pet groomer? Is it a gym? It's this local small business. Okay. You had no idea. It was all over the place.
Wow.
So I learned really quickly to be like, all right, this is how to handle the conversation, this is what I should be looking for to get the conversation going, right? And this is a cold call. I try to get that person on a demo because I was selling software at that time.
Okay, all right.
Have them run through a demo for a half hour. Remember, this person, I called them in the middle of their day. They have no idea that my call is coming, right? I sit them down on their computer, I share my screen with them.
Yeah.
And then after that demo, I asked for the credit card.
Wow.
For $300 a month.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So I average like 240 minutes of talk time a day.
Okay.
of me just being on the phone talking.
Yeah, that's really intense.
Yeah.
No, so when I first got started in roofing, I needed to get another job because it just was not working out. So I went and worked from 7 a.m. Well, I mean, it was working, but I wasn't getting paid fast enough.
Exactly. Right. It takes a while for the money to start coming in.
So I basically ran out, and I was like, I need a job. And so I went and sold what you're talking about from 7 a.m. till 12 noon part-time.
Oh, really?
So I just did that to make it just enough so I could like pay my basic bills. So I could basically eat. And so, and it was kind of what you're talking about. You put the headset on, a rotary call.
It was a boiler room, right?
Yeah, I was selling, dude, our thing product was like $10 a month, and it was really hard. Like, I was like, dude, $10. I was like, $10 a month, come on. But, so I have some familiarity with that. Yeah, it's pretty intense.
So,
I mean, that's the way. I think that sales, is the way you come up to to advance in your career and become successful. Ultimately, you gotta learn sales. Like hardcore. The more hardcore, the better, in my opinion.
Anybody who does cold calling, though, you have to have respect. I don't care if it's door knocking or if it's calling from the phone, whatever it might be, because the amount of rejection, the amount of angry people you have to deal with that are yelling at you and getting angry that you're there and interrupting their day, you gotta have respect for anybody who's willing to take that and continue every day to do that, right? It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a very skillful art form, I think closing.
The art of persuasion.
Very skillful. Yeah, I think persuasion, but specifically closing, because there's so much going on there, like in terms of psychology, in terms of like customer service, in terms of your background, their background, body language. I mean, there's just so much there, and I think I get frustrated with my sales guys occasionally because they're not closing enough. My percentages, we talked about that. Yeah. My percentage of closing is way higher than their percentage. At least that's my perspective. That's my perception. And so I get a little frustrated with that. But I need to realize that I've been doing it a long time, and my skill level is pretty high, and so I can. But I need to pass that on to them. So that's my job now, is to really to not work directly with customers and pass my skill set over to them and watch them and support them in closing. And that's kind of like, my next chapter in life at this point.
And I think a big part of that is making sure that their mindset is locked in, because it's so easy to have a bad week or sometimes even a bad month where your confidence is completely evaporated. Right? You're rolling for a little bit, you're feeling good, and all of a sudden sales are slowing down, the money's not coming in, you're not closing as many deals. That will wear on you.
Dude, I gotta tell you a story. The guy who trained me in roofing, that first guy I told you, the door knocking beast, well, he was also a door knocking beast in meat. He used to sell meat door to door.
Oh, did he really?
And he knocked on a roofer's door, and the roofer was like, dude,
and it opened
you
up
need
his
to
world.
quit selling steaks and come sell roofs. And he was like, done, but he trained me one day because I was having a bad day, like we were talking about, like, I'm not selling anything, I'm knocking all day, no leads, nothing. And he's like, look, Armando, it's okay to have a bad day, because if you have a bad day, it doesn't mean you're going to have a bad week. And he said, you know what, if you have a bad week, it doesn't mean you're going to have a bad month. All right? And then he said, and you know what, if you have a bad month, it doesn't mean you're going to have a bad year. And I was like, all right. And then he's like, and you know what, if you have a bad year, it doesn't mean you're going to have a bad decade. I was like, shit, okay. And then he's like, I went to prison for 7 years, bro. I was like,
wow.
What? And he's like, yeah, I went to prison for 7 years. And he's like, and guess what? The 10 years of I had the best financial years in that 10 years, in that decade I've ever had in my life. And he went to prison for 7 years. And I was like, whoa, that's intense, man. So whenever I'm having a bad day or sales aren't where I want to be, I'm definitely like, I remember that story.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying too, where you were saying like, you're running out of money. Right, and I think that kind of was a similar situation to me. Is like you're running out of money, and then all of a sudden you found roofing, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of a similar situation for me. So I did that marketing automation job.
Okay.
I was miserable, dude. I was so miserable selling that software.
Like cold calling all day. And
dude, I was miserable.
Dude,
I was so miserable, man. I was like the lowest of lows, dude. Like I was at a point in my life where I felt like I was doing nothing right. Like I was
How
like,
bad did it get though?
Well, I mean, like I felt like my relationships were bad. You know, like just my perspective on life was bad. My job I didn't enjoy. Like, dude,
Were you like suicidal?
No, I wasn't suicidal. But like, dude, I was just a point where I was like, dude, I gotta figure out what I want in my life. You know, because like for me, as soon as I graduated college, I moved out to Oregon, and then moved to San Francisco. I was doing outside sales, all that stuff like that. And I was very, very motivated. As soon as I graduated college, I was like, I'm gonna find what I want. And I could not find out what I want to do.
You're a very driven dude.
Yeah, I've always been very driven, right?
That's just natural?
Yeah, I mean, so I grew up in a blue-collar family, right? Everybody in my family worked with their hands. I was like one of the first to go to college, right? For me, dude, I was always business. That was always my sales, marketing, and stuff like that. But I go and work for
mowing lawns.
Oh, dude,
knocking on doors, mowing lawns.
I did, dude. Well, so when I was 15, I think I got my first job. I was pushing carts at a grocery store. Right.
Did you have to get a work permit for that?
I did, yeah. So I'm pushing carts there.
So if you know about a work permit, you know about working as a youngster. Most people are like, wait,
what? Yeah, right. So I'm working there. I'm pushing carts in Wisconsin winter, dude. Right? Like that's not easy. You know what I mean? And then I moved over to produce. And I was working in the produce section at a grocery store. Then I worked at Target, right? I was able to save enough money, save $1,500 to get my first car, 94 Ford Ranger, stick shift, purple car, right? And so I got my, it was $1,500, dude, didn't have heat, right?
That car's hilarious.
Yeah, dude, right? Rear wheel drive, so I'm all over the place during the winter in Wisconsin. And then I worked for a landscaping company for a while when I was like 16. Then I did car sales at 17. My 17 years old, so I think it was my junior year going into senior year of high school. I was selling pre-owned vehicles at Wild Honda. Right? That was my first experience.
Like, wearing like a button-up shirt?
Oh yeah, the whole thing, man. It's like me and everybody else.
A guy walking the lot and they see you walking out there?
Well, it's like me and then all the other sales guys are like, 40 years old, 50 years old, right? And then there's me at 17. I know nothing about cars. I got energy though. Dude, I got the energy though, right? So like these guys are walking out of the dealership, dude. I'm running out of the dealership. So I'm getting, because if someone comes in the dealership, dude, it's first come first serve.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's first come first serve, right? So I'm out there, dude. And so I mean, one of them, I was all over the place. I mean, you know how sales are, but one of the months there, I led the whole company in car sales. I think I sold 13 cars, which, it's not bad, but I led the pre-owned side of things and whatnot. And that's when I got my first taste of sales and stuff like that. But I was always working, right? And I always knew I wanted to have my own job, my own company. But dude, the process of getting there is pretty tough because like,
brutal.
Right? Like, you want to make the jump, but at the same time, you do need to gain some experience, in my mind, before you go make that jump, right? And so, I got to work for a bigger company.
Maybe not.
Maybe. For me, I did. I think everybody's journey is a little bit different.
Absolutely, that's true.
But I wanted to learn hands-on, like, what that company looks like. So, I worked for Milwaukee Tool. That was a bigger company, right? Huge company. TTI is the parent company, $5 billion company. So now I'm seeing processes, I'm seeing systems, I'm seeing business politics in a large corporation. I'm seeing all that stuff. What does it take to get promoted, right? What does it take to get recognized at a bigger corporation? All that kind of stuff. And then when you go to the smaller company, you see, all right, they don't have these systems. They have the turnover is very high. Why are people leaving all the time, right? You start to see all this kind of stuff, right? So you at least have that knowledge. When you go into.
Well, you still got started really young.
So 25.
You were 25.
25 is when So pretty much, I was at that marketing automation job. I'm making these calls. I'm miserable, dude. It's 7 a.m. I have to be there every morning. I'm driving to work, dude. I'm like, man, I wish my car ride was like 10, 20 minutes longer, man. I just do not want to go in there. I don't want to make 150 calls a day. And the product, I wasn't a big believer in the product, so that doesn't help either. And so I get to work, and my boss pulls me aside, and he's like, all right, Nick, you got to get your numbers up, right? Or we need to think of some kind of exit strategy. So I call my now business partner.
Exit strategy. Look, sell it you can, bro.
Nice way to say that I'm gone, right? Which is completely fair at that standpoint. Because I started as a good salesperson, I was probably like the top 10%, and I fell way back, right? As I started.
Because you were unhappy.
I was unhappy, right? And so it goes back to the mindset. And so I called my then business partner, right? Or now business partner, and I was like, Chris, dude, so they want me to leave if I don't get my numbers up. You know that idea that I've been telling you about for the last 3 months that we kind of been just playing around with, messing with?
So that's Chris, the person you work with now?
Mm-hmm, my business partner.
Right.
Yeah. So I've known him for a decade. I met him in 2010, and we became roommates in 2011 in college, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do you think?
Yeah.
Should we do it? I was like, if I run out of money, like you're gonna have to take care of me. Like I don't know when we're gonna start making money.
Yeah.
He says, do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I left that day
awesome.
at lunch.
Okay.
And I walked out, and I had
and
no
that was
idea.
the idea for Suma?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and I had no idea what I was gonna do. No plans. I had no strategy of what I was gonna sell. I knew it was gonna be marketing, and I knew it was gonna be in the construction space.
Okay.
Because I worked in Milwaukee Tool. I understood contractors, right?
Mm-hmm.
My family's blue collar, understood contractors. Working for a marketing automation company, 40% of our business, contractors, right? So I knew that.
Yeah.
That was all I knew,
Okay.
right? Going into
that's
it.
Awesome.
And then from there, I was completely blank. Didn't have a company name, didn't have the services we were gonna sell, unique selling props, nothing. I had really no idea,
Yeah.
And that's when Sumo was started.
That's
and
awesome, dude.
6 months
What
later.
was the first product?
So the first one, what I did
Like your signature product?
in the very beginning,
Yeah.
I was just one product, web design.
Just
right?
By a website.
Mm-hmm. Well, so what I did is I didn't know web design at that point. I had no idea how to make a website.
Was WordPress around?
Yeah, WordPress is around.
So you could build. You could use that to build a website.
But I wanted to just sell. I was like, I'm just gonna sell, all right? I don't have time to learn this stuff. So what I did,
HTML, WordPress, I don't know.
Dude,
you need a website.
I gotta make money. There's not enough time to learn websites right now.
Right.
There's just not, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like going through online, and I'm looking at agencies. I'm looking at people's websites for small businesses, and I'm like grading them all. I'm like, what website?
So you weren't worried about how you're going to deliver the product. You just wanted to sell the product.
Well, I knew I wasn't going to deliver the product.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't going to deliver.
You knew you could deliver somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's when I started scouring the internet, right?
Okay.
I'm looking at thousands of websites, agencies, small business, and I'm like pretty much putting them in buckets. Ones that I like, ones that I don't like, ones I really like, right? And then the ones I really like, I'm calling.
Okay.
Hey, like who made this website, blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
right? And then I'm calling agencies, hey, do you do white label stuff? Do you work with other agencies where they're selling your services and stuff like that?
No, there's plenty of those out there, right?
Plenty.
Yeah.
So eventually I got connected to a company out in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
Right? And I'm like, hey, so I want to start selling your websites.
Okay.
Okay?
Through my brand.
Through my brand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I built a relationship with him.
Okay.
And it was nice because he helped me with everything. He helped me with the softwares I need to use, right? Basecamp, we were talking about Basecamp and stuff like that.
Okay.
He helped me with proposals.
That's cool.
He helped
so
me.
it's a bit of a mentorship there.
For 2.5 years, he didn't mentor me, even after I stopped selling his websites.
And it's sort of a win-win because you're helping him grow his business through white label, and then he's pretty much your wholesaler.
Exactly. And he's teaching me because
teaching you. Yeah.
He's on Slack with me every day.
Okay.
So now he's on Slack with me every day talking.
Even now?
Not now anymore, but it was about 2.5 years though. He did that with me.
Because you do all those services in-house.
Yeah,
now.
everything's in-house
You have
now.
an in-house web developer.
Yeah, everything's
You have an
in-house.
in-house social media manager.
Yeah, anything that we do, automation, everything's in-house.
You don't
now.
use freelancer.com. No Fiverr.
No, nothing, none of that. None of that stuff, dude. I take a lot of pride in having the team, to be honest with you. It's pretty nice, dude. And then you know that you have people internally that you can count on too, right? So like, let's say you have a project and you use somebody else that's outside of your company, and now all of a sudden someone wants revisions or they're not happy with something and they want that.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that, right? Like if that freelancer already got paid, dude.
Yeah.
Good luck. Like
2 weeks from now.
yeah, exactly. Like, and then customers like, what's going on here? I paid my bill. Like, why is my project not completed, or why is this not fixed?
Do you host? Do you do web hosting?
We do.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so we do all
What do
that.
you charge for that?
It's pretty cheap, to be honest.
Is
It
it?
depends, but sometimes like $50 a month. We do all the updates and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
And you know what I mean? And then it comes with a free SSL certificate. It backs up all the websites too. So every single day it creates a backup of the website.
Do you work with people who already? I'm guessing the majority of your websites now are people you work with already have a website, and you're revamping it. I'm guessing, right?
And in some cases, like we have one, we work with one account, and they have 3 locations, and it's a bigger account for us. Their website, to be honest, I don't like it. So it's a longer project, but I'm doing that.
Why don't you like it?
I'm covering the cost and I'm revamping it for no cost.
Really?
Because they pay a decent amount per month, right?
Okay.
Where,
to host it?
No, for all of the market, they have the full marketing suite from us.
Oh,
right.
Social media.
Everything.
What does that include?
So they're doing SEO, they're doing email marketing, they're doing blogging, they're doing social media posts.
Gotcha.
They're doing some Facebook Live stuff. They're doing you name it, LinkedIn,
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You're managing all their platforms.
Everything, dude.
And then you're also managing their banks. I'm guessing their video bank and their photography bank.
A bunch of stuff, man. You name it, we're doing a lot of it.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Getting you are their marketing department.
That's the goal, right? So I would rather we do have clients that aren't like that, but ideally, it would be awesome just to be all right, we're your marketing department.
Gotcha.
That's the main goal, right?
I feel like a roofer would struggle a little bit with that.
Some do. To be honest with you, some do. But then there's some that are really good about it.
Me, I definitely would, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I want everything in house.
Yep.
I want to be able to control all of that stuff. I couldn't do it, which is probably why I struggle working with independent contractors. So even working with Suma, everyone I've worked with, I've always kind of struggled because ultimately my dream is to be in house.
Yeah.
So I have.
But that's your dream, man.
That's
you
my
know
dream.
what I mean? No matter how great, let's say we were or anybody else, we're not your dream.
But there's other roofers who are still similar to me, who their dream is no, my dream is to build my contracting company as big as possible. I don't care about marketing. Let's hire an outsourced marketing department like Suma to take care of it and work with them on it and let them do what they do.
Right, 100%.
In a way, that's the smarter thing to do.
Yeah. Well, the relationships that go really well, though, it does feel like you're part of the team.
Okay.
It really does. With some of these people, it feels like you're part of the team. We don't do a whole ton for Elite, in all honesty, because they already have a lot of good stuff going on marketing. But we do some stuff.
They don't do internal, though.
They use Devin. So Cody is Randy's business partner, right? His wife has a marketing company.
Right,
so in a way, it's almost kind of like internal, right? Yeah. At that point. But we do some stuff on the commercial side for them, helping them get connected on the commercial side.
Well, you do stuff for Roofing Academy.
Roofing Academy, right?
You're part of that business,
100%.
Right?
But if I go to Elite Roofing, you feel like you go to a party or something like that, I'm part of the family, right?
Yeah,
we have certain clients where you can tell we're part of the family, right? We get invited to stuff.
That's the ideal situation.
Right. Because we're hey, we're your employees too. So when you treat us as just a contractor or another company that you
you're almost more important than the family.
Right.
You're the one bringing in the day.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly.
So I mean, that's extremely important.
So it's all their perspective of how they view us. If they view us as just somebody they hire to do their marketing services, then we're just kind of like a commodity in their mind, right?
Yeah,
where it's just hey, you might come and go.
That's tough to build that relationship. That, right?
The hardest part is always the beginning.
Okay.
It's always the beginning. So you're always trying to think of ways where it's okay, how can I gain their trust as quickly as possible? Because then I'm gonna have more freedom to do what we do best.
Well, honestly, this kind of stuff helps with that.
100%.
To a certain extent.
100%.
You're no longer. I've known you for a long time. You've done some videos for me. You've done some digital marketing for me, and I would. If I could afford you, I probably would have done it. But I think it made a little more. And plus, my dream was to go.
This is your vision. You're a content creator, right? That's what you like, man. So
I wanted this internal marketing department.
Exactly.
So that was what I was shooting for. But yeah, I think. But I could definitely see that how the trust factor with a roofer, because it is a big investment.
Yeah.
And it really is something they need to think about and budget for and plan and make sure that the results are there. That's got to be your struggle, right?
100%.
You're producing those results.
100%.
Dude, that's so hard to do. I'm struggling with it now. And I've put a lot of work into it.
It is.
So Facebook leads. So let's pretend I'm a contractor and I say, hey, okay, look, I'm doing Facebook. We're working hard. It sucks. Can you help me produce Facebook leads?
No.
Are you just gonna say yes?
No, I'm gonna do no, dude. I hate Facebook leads. I'll be straight up with you, man. I never really dialed in Facebook advertising, right?
Okay.
And it was annoying because every roofing conference we went to was Facebook leads. Gary V's at this thing, and he's dude, Facebook's in for your roofers. I'm dude, Gary, how many Facebook roofers have you worked with, right?
Yeah. You were at that conference.
I was at that conference.
And you met him.
Yeah, I did meet him. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
he was awesome. He was awesome.
That was a conference that I had a lot of changing of my paradigm as well.
You did?
When I saw him speak.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I went up and asked him a question even.
Yeah.
And he actually told me straight up, he's like, you need to go start a podcast, Armando.
Yeah.
I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, like you, I can tell you have the voice for it, you have the personality for it. Like, go start a podcast. Like, get off this mic and go do it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, bye, you know. But yeah, I remember that, and you, so you weren't necessarily kind of like saying, well, no, Gary Vee, you're right.
Yeah.
You were more like, you might be wrong.
Well, in my mind, how many roofing contractors has he actually worked with and seen results with?
Guessing zero.
Probably zero, right?
Yeah.
But that was his response to everything, right? So it didn't matter where he was, it didn't matter who he was speaking to. Facebook ads was an answer.
Yeah.
Right? And
well, it definitely gets you to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's part of him that's true. That's correct.
100%.
I mean, where
he was probably crushing it.
Where
too,
else are you gonna get, like, let's say 3 million views for, let's just say, like $2,000 bucks? Because I could get 3 million views for $2,000 here.
Yeah,
of my
100%.
company. Where nothing can do that.
No.
Maybe TV.
Yeah.
You know, and it can be $2,000 bucks.
I don't know. I mean, you can do a lot of things, though. I mean, the thing about it is, like, data is king. So the whole point of the Facebook ad is to get the data, right?
Yeah.
You want to get the contact information of these people so that you can reach out to them and schedule an appointment, right, for an inspection or whatever it might be. That's the whole goal.
So am I crazy here? Like, you want to get them to fill out the form,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, fill out the
now
form.
You have their number.
Yeah, then you call it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, now they're not answering. Now they're not answering.
Yeah,
so now I just paid all this money.
But at least you got their email.
Yeah.
You can put them in their email, and if you're lucky, they went to your website. So now you've got them.
But how much money did that one email cost me? You know what I mean? Did it cost me $10? Did it cost me $20? What did it cost me?
Yeah.
So what I do is we look for sources online, or I can just scrape all the information that I need, right? It doesn't matter if it's residential, commercial, right? So for
well, just to be clear, man, are you saying like ditch Facebook?
I mean, don't ditch Facebook, right? I'm still a big believer in building a brand.
Okay.
Right? But branding's my baby. I love branding.
So then you must love Facebook.
Yeah, I still love it for that.
Okay.
But I'm not on it for generating leads. It just wasn't working us for generating leads. I'm not saying abandon Facebook or social media platforms or content creation, because I think for long-term
Facebook
growth,
is Facebook, but then the other, there's still LinkedIn, there's Instagram, and there's
LinkedIn's our baby right now. LinkedIn.
You like LinkedIn a lot.
LinkedIn is where our dish. Unbelievable.
You think that's a good lead generator?
Yeah, 100%. Well, so for LinkedIn,
for roofing contractors.
Well, it could be property managers, it could be insurance agents, it could be commercial real estate.
That's going to be more like calling them and cold calling. For them.
So pretty much what happens. So if you connect with somebody on LinkedIn, right? So we automate all this. We build scripts for all this, right?
Okay.
You can connect it with maybe I think it's 40 connections a day. You can send up to your target market. People, they're gonna be center influences. They're gonna refer you business, right?
Okay.
Or it could be commercial opportunities.
So you're talking about reaching out to like insurance agents, realtors, if you're a roofing contractor, property managers, on LinkedIn, and make it automated.
Make that automated, right? And then from there,
you're using Sales Navigator for that.
So we built scripts. So we pretty much we have Ryan who just goes in there and he writes these scripts that does all of that stuff for us.
And then you can use using LinkedIn's dashboard. Like they have I haven't gone into LinkedIn, but they have a business manager dashboard, I'm assuming, right? You can go into there and make those automated.
Well, so pretty much you type you can use Sales Navigator, or you can just use a normal search, right? Depending on what you want to do. And Sales Navigator is like $80 a month, right?
Okay.
So you type in property manager, you pick the location that you want, right? And then from there our script comes in, right? Because it's got the list of people that you reach out to, and every day it's going in and it's connecting and sending these people messages.
Okay.
As soon as it makes that connection, now we have access to their contact information.
Okay.
I think it's like 52 to 54% of them have phone numbers, and it's like 95 to 97% have email addresses.
So a guy like me, a roofing guy who wants to get into that, you probably should have somebody doing those calls.
100%.
A dedicated person for the calls.
We can scrape all that information.
Or a dedicated person doing the reaching out and then calling.
Well, you could do email drip funnels from there. You could do calling. You could do text message campaigns. You could do voicemail drops.
Taking their email off of the.
You can do whatever you want, right?
Wow.
I mean, we use at a commercial standpoint. We have CoStars, which is just a database of all the commercial properties, who owns the property, who manages the property, right? We can pull all that data, put that into a database, then we decide what we're going to do from there.
So if you put it into an email campaign, isn't that just going to be spamming them? I mean, not going to...
So it's all about the scripting.
So
it's all about the scripting.
Well, LinkedIn has a reputation for being a spam fest at this point.
100%.
Right? So,
but you can take it off of LinkedIn, though, right? All I need LinkedIn for is information, right? That's all I need.
And then put it into a drip, email drip campaign?
I can do that,
But why aren't they just going to unsubscribe?
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
You'd be surprised, right? You'd be surprised, you know?
If you have enough, it turns into a numbers game.
That's kind of a shotgun approach there. But on the residential side, though, Hail Trace or Hail Recon or whatever you want to use, even if it's not a storm area, right? It doesn't even matter if you use a storm app.
So I have Hail Trace.
You do have, okay.
And a lot of people have it, obviously. So here I am, I'm the guy. I need help.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I do with Hail Trace?
So we had
I put all the people, all the customers are in there, and then they're linked into my Job Nimbus.
Yeah.
So I got Hail Trace and Job Nimbus working together. I got a lot of information, which I'm excited about.
You're stoked.
Now we're
stoked about it, right?
Yeah.
So for example, we just had one out in Chicago area, and they had a storm 9/11 2019. Okay.
Yeah.
So they got a year, right, for the insurance claim.
Right, right, yeah.
So we knew this neighborhood, it was like Fox Hollow or something like that. We knew the name of the neighborhood.
Okay.
Right? We knew that it was all sheeter shake shingles in that neighborhood.
Wow.
Right?
Those are big
and so
ones,
now we're doing a text campaign. Actually, I think this one we started with the email, right? And the subject line was question about, and we just put their address because we had their address.
Through Hail Trace, because they give you the data of all that. Okay.
In the subject line, right? And we say, hey, we know that you're in the Fox Halo neighborhood or Hollow neighborhood, and then you have this sheeter shake or shingles.
A text.
We can do text or email.
So I get people telling me that text, you got to be really careful and this and that.
You do, but it works though.
Okay.
It works though, right?
So you want to be careful that they're not like on a do not call text.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Where do you find that?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not the nitty gritty of it, right? I'm not the one actually launching these campaigns, dude. Like, I'm just a high level strategy.
That's your people?
Yeah, I'm not doing this.
Gotcha,
so like the nitty gritties at that level, they help me out there. Like my business partner is much smarter than I am, so I leave that up to him.
Okay,
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just gonna be honest.
Yeah.
But we're able to say that. Like, so we're like, hey, we know that you're in this neighborhood, and you have cedar shake shingles, right? And then your house was affected in a storm at 9/11/2019. Do you know that your insurance company won't cover that at 9/11/2020 after 9/11/2020?
Yeah.
If you'd like to schedule an appointment, let us know, right? It shows the research is very specific to who they are, and then we also include, we also help.
That works.
It works.
Yeah.
And we'll also be like, we just helped, Brianna and Scott Chandler replace their roof for free. All right.
Dude, I gotta tell you, email's been fantastic for us.
Email's unbelievable.
I love email.
Dude, email's unbelievable.
I want to do more email, man. It's crazy. Because everybody here, everyone says email's dead. And I mean, everyone, the status quo right now is like that, especially when rooters, like emails mean nothing. But dude, I can tell you right off the top of my head, we probably developed at least 100,000 in revenue in the last 2 months from email. Email
probably has the best ROI. In all honesty, it probably does, right? But I mean, it's the old age thing, so nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
But the email and the text campaigns have been kind of our 1-2 punch. The only spot that people get a little bit mad at us that we've been pausing is the voicemail drops. So if we have 20,000 contacts, right, we can leave a voicemail on every single one of their phones.
So with the email, we bought out a list.
Yeah.
And from a company that does that, and we send out 50,000 emails pretty much every 6 weeks into the local area.
Yeah.
So and then we have the other campaign, which is our internal customers. So we send 2 different email campaigns. That's all we're really doing on email. It's working fantastic. I want to do more. Like
the drip stuff, dude. That's
the drip stuff?
Yeah, the drip stuff's where it's at.
With LinkedIn.
And then it's also with the scripts. I mean, it depends. You can get your contacts from wherever you want, man. But then at that point, now it just goes back to the scripting and the approach.
Okay.
Right? So that's really
so
what it is.
I could potentially go out and buy a whole other email list from a company.
So we got a client out in Pennsylvania, right? He's like, hey, I got until right before Christmas in terms of building, right? I want to do end of season, I want to do some incentive stuff. He had some storms in the area, really wasn't a ton of damage. Okay. So now we're saying we got to do retail, right? So what he's trying to do is he's trying to do more service promotions, 20% off these certain services for the roof, right? And so what we're doing is we use Hail Trace, we do a circle around his service area, and we extract all that data.
From Hail Trace.
Yeah, extract all that data.
Yeah.
And then we put it into the system.
And Hail Trace lets you extract it fairly easily.
Dude,
right?
We are on the phone today. We were on the call with our client, and we're like, hey, let's get Hail Trace on. Got Hail Trace on. They said, hey, make a circle around where you want the data.
Yeah, I hear you.
We took a screenshot of the map. We made a circle.
Yeah.
They exported the data and they show us the list that's right in there.
Okay. That's
so
awesome.
now we got the list.
Wow.
We got all the residents, right? Because dude, at the end of the day, it's all about the resident. I'm like, dude,
so you're thinking I should keep doing what I'm doing. Obviously, it's working, but I could go to HailTrace and do a whole other email campaign from my HailTrace
100%.
data. That's the
100%.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then from there, it's the script, right? So you have to make sure subject line. You gotta make sure they open it.
That's really hard.
You gotta make sure they open it.
Yeah.
From there, you gotta make sure that you show that you did some kind of research where it seems like it's specific to them, rather than just spam.
Yeah.
And then you have to have something that hooks them, that makes them feel, whether it's urgency or whatever it might be, that hooks them, and then some kind of call to action.
Isn't the hook going to be in the subject line?
So it depends. So for us, I mean, for the subject line for that one we did, was this question about, and it was your home address.
Okay.
And which is kind of crazy, right? Because we have their home address. So it's
you
like
can automate that in the email. Okay.
So it automatically populates their address.
Are you using MailChimp or some other thing?
So to be honest, MailChimp we're not a super big fan of.
Okay. Active Campaign.
We've used that. We've used and we keep switching though, to be honest with you. But like MailChimp is.
Maybe I should interview one of your people.
Yeah, right. No kidding. Well, we just switched to. I think we just switched to a new one that I think was like HailShape. But dude, we have like 4 different tools, right? Like one's for like email blast.
Okay.
One's for like we can do email and text and voicemail drops in the same one. One is for just like the specific email funnels that we do, that is a drip sequence that tends to have better results in delivery rates.
So like I'm starting to think. I mean, you've got my wheels spinning as far as like I could be doing a HailTrace campaign. I can do my existing customer campaign.
See,
I can
that's
do
what
my
it is.
cold campaign.
Exactly.
And I can think of how many campaigns I could think of.
Exactly,
doing,
right?
Okay.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
right? You're doing stuff
Gotcha.
that's specific for your insurance agent list that you build on LinkedIn, or
absolutely.
your property managers that you did, right?
Yeah,
And then you got
gotcha.
co-stars we're using. That's all commercial opportunities, right? So we're targeting those people much differently, right? To open up those doors, right? HailTrace, that's completely cold. So that's going to look a lot differently, right?
Well, but it's cold, but it's also verifiable that there's the damages there.
Exactly.
You can straight up tell them that.
Exactly.
You know? And so they'll. I think people will appreciate that.
But even in the retail space, though, the thing is because this guy, he had storms, he had wind, and he had hail. But dude, there was just nothing, right? I mean, the map said it was good, but honestly, it just wasn't good.
Okay.
So we're like, screw it. Hey, you're still in a retail market. You do a lot of retail work. Let's just extract the data in these areas, and let's see if anybody in these areas with these 20,000 contacts needs any kind of service work. We're gonna do 20% off, right? We're gonna do 20% off any of the service work at the end of the year, right? If they do the service work, what if this roof is, because then we also attracted where I think it was only roofs that were like a certain age or houses that were certain ages, hoping there'd be older roofs, right? So you get on there, dude. This thing's been patched up how many times? The thing's a total mess. They're probably going to need a replacement, right? So we're like, all right, we're going to open up the door with that. We're going to do the service. Maybe we'll be able to convert it to replacement at that point. Maybe not. But either way, if we do the service work, right, that's another contact that now goes into previous customers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And previous customers are much more likely when they do need that. Right, that's hot,
really,
right? Like if they need a replacement, dude, who do you think they're gonna go with?
Well, the email that we get these referrals all the time. When we send out the email and they say, we get calls that my friend got an email and forwarded to me.
Exactly.
Like, cool, so
exactly.
So I mean, so let's say out of all these platforms, because I think we're gonna probably wind it down here pretty soon. So all these platforms, so we've got the social platforms, we've got email, we've got web marketing as far as like Google ads, out of everything. Where would you put the dollars at if you were a betting man?
Well, so I mean, it depends, right? It depends
for lead generation.
For lead generation, I get the data and then I just put it in my own campaign. So I do whatever.
Email.
You put
your money on email
and text.
Really?
I let text is pretty
You put your money in email more than you put it in Google.
Email and text. Well, I mean, obviously you want to make sure you're doing that stuff, but. The outreach, when you're doing outreach, you're going on sales. You're doing sales, pretty much, right? In a way.
Well, like you have a certain amount of money, all right? And let's pretend that you had to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Do you pick Google or you pick email?
Well, I mean, you gotta have Google though, dude, right? Like you have to have a phone. Because dude, the thing is, dude, if I do the email stuff, and they look me up, they're gonna look me up online too, right?
Well, let's just pretend you had to. You had to pick one or the other.
Oh man, dude, I don't know,
Which one would you pick?
Well, dude, because you have to, because I'm a brand guy too. So I mean. Dude, it's just so situational. I can't.
Email.
Yeah, you think so?
I pick email.
But dude, the thing is, dude, when you do the outreach, So you want to do outreach, and then make sure you have
Google.
a brand. Have a
Google's
brand.
incredible too.
Give me Google reviews then, and give me at least the Google reviews and a good website. Can I at least have that, or what? Can I have five? I can't have a 5-star rating on that because I mean people are gonna check.
Dude, Google's
right?
incredible, bro.
Yeah.
Like we've been doing a lot of Google. We've been struggling though because my Google ads have been disapproved lately.
Oh, have you
so
really?
we're having some issues. Yeah, I've been meaning to actually talk to you about that. We're talking to some PPC expert on Monday to help us get over that hump. But we're a Google guaranteed business, and I've got the budget way up.
That's one thing I didn't even mention. Google local service ads, dude.
That's huge.
People on Google local service ads, man, are just
I feel like there's a huge. The problem is that I think a lot of like guys who are kind of like starting out or smaller, and you just have a really small teams. They make you jump through some hoops.
100%.
It's a bit of a hassle
to get it going.
Yeah, to get it going. And I jumped through those hoops like a year and a half ago, and then now it's it's been paying off really well, and I've upped the budget about as high as you can go. It doesn't matter. I could tell them send me 5,000 in leads this month, and they're only going to send you what they want.
Exactly.
You have no control over it. Really.
You have no ideas. It's very variable, right? Like sometimes you're getting a lot, sometimes you're not.
Which is not where you want to be.
No. But that's why you got to diversify, though, right? It goes back to diversifying. So this, if one goes down, you at least have another one that's supporting you. But like with the local service ads, a lot of people are just getting going. That's perfect, right? Because that's a direct call. So as long as you can get the reviews on there, right? They're not looking at your website, so you don't have to invest quite yet in the website. You don't have to invest in someone like a marketing agency to set it up. Like you can set up that stuff yourself rather than having an agency. Because the PPC, dude, like you have to have
Google
an agency.
sets up that for you.
Is that Google does it, right?
Yeah.
So now it's a huge advantage for you to be able to do that.
It's huge, dude. It's huge. So if you had to pick between Google,
Yeah, look at this. What is this game about, dude? You're just making me look bad over here.
No, man, I forgot my train of thought.
I'm good. I'm glad.
No, so we'll just kind of wind it down though. And we gotta get out of here. So, but no, that was a great talk, man.
Absolutely, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I feel like we could go for a while.
Dude, I'm genuinely motivated to go get more email campaigns.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Good. Awesome.
I'm gonna work on that. Yeah, right away actually.
So for me, I just like it because marketing, man, like marketing. And then there's sales, right? And I think that doing the outreach programs is almost like a mixture of them both, right? Where you're using your marketing mind, but it's almost like an outreach program in a way, right? Where you're going in. I like a marketing plan where you're going after them almost. You know what I mean? I hated setting stuff up and be like, is this gonna work? Like beta testing this? Can I trick them to fill out this form? Right? Maybe I can get them to download this PDF. The 5 tips to finding a roofing contractor or whatever it is, right? And then I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna schedule this inspection. And I got sick of it, dude. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna take all the information, all the people that I want, and I'm gonna send them my message. I'm gonna be very strategic about my message, and I'm gonna be on offense. So I wanted to switch it to market plan and offense.
What about Bing?
Bing?
Yeah, have you messed with that yet?
I haven't really messed with Bing, to be honest.
Messing with Bing.
How's that going?
Because our Google ads are getting distributed left and right.
So how's the Bing going then?
We just started getting it on Bing, actually.
Oh, really?
Dude, the thing is, Google Local Services has like literally kept the lights on in the last 6 months because there's no hail in Denver. So, and then we have the email has also kept the lights on. And then we have a lot of contacts, referrals, and stuff like that, which have kept the lights on. I'm being dramatic. We're not really
I know what you're saying, but I mean, that's the vibe of all the roofing contractors.
In Denver,
right?
yeah, for sure. But but so now we're gonna go after Bing, and we got our first ad campaign going yesterday. It was approved, we're good to go. Yeah, so we're gonna put some, and it's like really cheap, like half the price of Google.
Yeah, right. You have to let me know how that works, because I mean, I do like stuff, especially in such a saturated market, anything that's unique, and I think that's why too I got sick of some of the Facebook stuff. And another reason why I got sick of a lot of that stuff was like, what can we do that's different, because it's such a saturated market. What can we do that's a little bit different, right?
Well, I know we're gonna hit now after this conversation. We're gonna definitely work on our LinkedIn. You know, and I have some people that have been telling me as well to go get Sales Navigator and start using that. So, so I have just some friends in the business group. You know, I'm in the business group called Arete. Have you've heard of it?
I have not. No.
It's led by Ed Milet.
Are you really? Oh, then I know that one. Yeah. I just didn't know the name of it, but I've seen it online.
Yeah, I've been in Arete Syndicate since.
I remember you mentioned that actually.
Yeah. So enrollment is opening up soon.
Oh, really?
Use my link so I get credit for it.
All right, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, you should join it, dude. It's incredible. I'm like Arete for life at this point.
Wow.
And so it's been life changing. But dude, there's some people in Arete who post in our private Facebook group about Sales Navigator and like basically walking us through exactly what to do. And then there's another person who also put on our ClickFunnels, and he was telling us what ClickFunnels has done for us. Have you messed around with ClickFunnels yet?
A little bit, yeah.
You guys make your own funnels.
Yeah, pretty much, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I used to use ClickFunnels, but personally, like, I'm a big brand guy and whatnot, and I just don't like the look of ClickFunnels as much, to be honest. Yeah, like, for me, so Chris is the lead gen side, right? Like, that's his brain. I'm like brand development, I'm like making it look good, perception of value that you have to offer a customer, right? Yeah. Because, like, the way I look at, like, a website is, okay, I am looking at the level of quality and amount of effort that you put into your website and the way that it looks, and I'm thinking, what could they do for my home? Okay. That's kind of how I go.
When you're a consumer?
Yeah, like when I'm a consumer, right? The perception of value this person has. What do their reviews look like? What does their branding look like? What do their trucks look like? What kind of stuff do their employees wear and show up to the house? What does their website look like, right? You're literally building a perception of value, right? Because it's every single touch point that your customer has with your business. They're like, all right, this is what I think of this company.
Yeah.
This is what this company can offer.
So I've done some of that, and like we've kind of reverse engineered our ideal customer profile a bit, and we found that our ideal customer profile really finds our landscaping. They're really into their landscape.
Oh, really? That's so interesting.
Yeah. So we've been putting like landscaping, like how we protect your landscape.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
People's
perfect, dude.
Don't even worry about deductible.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay your deductible.
Genius, man.
What about your landscaping? Are you worried about that? Yeah, I put so much work in it.
How did you know?
So we've been working a lot on that, and like on the website reflecting some of that. We're still developing that, but we're reflecting more in our Facebook campaigns and our other social campaigns.
Yeah.
So anyways, man, I think I really appreciate having this talk.
Absolutely, man.
Sure.
Awesome, man.
Really
Keep
good,
crushing on the content side of things. Love to see yourself out there.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it a lot, having a really good time. Maybe we might even have our, I'm very passionate about entrepreneurship and about, just building brands as well, and so we're looking at turning our Foothills internal marketing into a startup.
Oh, are you really?
Potentially.
That'd be awesome, dude.
Looking at that,
nice.
For sure, so that would be exciting. But and I'm going to send you the link for Arte.
Yeah,
I really do think you should look at that, man. It's an amazing group, and they're big. They're the Sales Navigator, and then like ClickFunnels and other strategies that nobody else is using. Like literally nobody's using. You get access to that in like the private groups. So for sure. But anyways, all right, good to see you.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, we'll see you next time.